Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and this is the Howler. To be more specific, the final Howler here on Sanford Sports Radio. We'll be heading to your TVs next week on the newly created Coyotes Football Network. So we'll see you then and have some footage of practice from what I've been hearing. So at least you folks will get to see a little bit of that while we talk more Coyotes football. But let's talk recruits to start things off. Keith Darby still the top guy that Sanford is keeping in mind. No real changes of names. There was some big news, though, that did break. We'll cover that here in just a bit. But no real big changes at the top of Coach Wolf's board this year so far, at least. Darby is still the top target at corner. Garrett Theory, another top guy. Adam Woods, the outside linebacker, is still a top target, and the Vermont prospect, from everything I've been hearing, is very high on the Coyotes, so I expect Adam Woods to pretty much want to stay close to home and just go a little bit more north up to Maine. But that's a great prospect to get here into Sanford. Hopefully that will come sooner rather than later. Sanford's still not going very hard at quarterback prospects very much. It does sound like they're not looking for one of the big-time prospects this year. They're looking for a guy they can develop. So I wouldn't be surprised for them to go for the younger Rivado at quarterback and see them try and develop him into maybe the next Tanner Patrick. But right now, that, from the sounds of things, is how the whole quarterback situation is going. Kyle Seahorn currently not a big target, neither is Jack Ferdinand. But speaking of the Ferdinand brothers, there is one Ferdinand that is no longer on the board for the Coyotes. Some surprising news for Sanford was two of their big targets in offensive linemen are off the board. They committed extremely early this year. And because of that, there are now two new guards added to Sanford's board. Larry Scales, the young man out of, let me get this right, Saginaw, Michigan, and Sean Williams, two guard prospects that Sanford now has added on here to try and counteract the fact that Boston Ferdinand has committed to Clemson and Heath Martz has already committed to Stanford. No, not Sanford, Stanford. With this situation, it's going to be tough for Sanford to really fix that offensive line. They're going to have to bring in the other prospects they had at tackle. They're going to have to bring in at least one, maybe two or three of these guard prospects. They need the depth on the offensive line. They're just not there right now. This offensive line is the biggest question. We're going to be talking about it all year long, whether it's about the run game or the pass blocking. They need the depth there to create a line for the long term. And right now they don't have it. They survived and have survived a lot off of transfers coming in to assist that line. Wilson, the current center, of course, a transfer that came in, now getting his first time really playing with Sanford. And of course, Evan Adams already graduated at the end of last season. He was a transfer prospect, became the best offensive lineman Sanford has ever seen. But they have to bring in these young guys to build them up themselves. They can't keep relying on guys to transfer in to fix that offensive line. But with Fernandez and Martz gone, you got to find those gems. You got to find those guys that just aren't getting the attention. Sanford's done it plenty before with Josh Williams, John Scott. They found those guys that aren't getting attention for one reason or another, and they've got to make the best out of it. We'll see if that can happen. Let's take you to the players of the week, though. And for the American Conference, it's a fun one to talk about. Cornerback Bo Witherspoon for SMU with a 3-interception ball game in a loss. Yes, I said loss against Baylor, 34-31. But big news for Sanford, Offensive Player of the Week for the American Conference, Claude Fleming with his 116, just about, yards from scrimmage. An absolutely great day. He had legitimately over 110 yards, 120 actually, from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Great day for Claude Fleming, and he got rewarded for that performance. Now, currently, Sanford is on top of the American Conference with a 1-0 record. A number of teams, though, have yet to play. They will begin their season this weekend. But Sanford's got to be riding high. You beat a solid team, a Boston College team that had a defensive coordinator that knew, a head coach that knew your offense inside and out. And you beat them. Came back, a phenomenal play. Once again, the fans went absolutely berserk for Claude Fleming in that last play. No respect, though, to Tanner Patrick for rolling out, and I believe he deserves the respect of really making that play happen. But a big play nonetheless to win that ball game. Sanford still not getting a lot of love in the top 25, only 12 votes in the top 25, though, this week. Hopefully that'll increase if they can get a big win against some SEC competition this week. The Coyotes faced the University of Kentucky Wildcats in this weekend's contest. It will be an interesting one as they're at Kentucky. Some other big matches to keep in mind. UConn heads over to Raleigh, North Carolina to face the NC State Wolfpack. Maryland heads to UCF. That ought to be a fun one. And Memphis has a hard test against UCLA. Cincinnati also heads to Michigan. So a couple of big matchups in the American Conference this weekend, and we will definitely keep you up to date during this weekend's ball game at Kentucky of whatever updates we do get. It may not exactly be American Conference football, but we'll keep you updated on the big games that we are able to get involved with. Let's go over this week's big game for Sanford, the Kentucky Wildcats, SEC competition. Sanford, though, favored to win this ball game, which is a huge situation. Sanford looking to beat SEC competition. Kirk Herbstreit saying they're going to do it. Yes, Kentucky is a weaker SEC team. A lot of people would argue Vanderbilt is also up there as a weaker SEC ball team. But the issue with that is you can't take anybody lightly, whether they're a weaker team in a big conference or whatever. They can be the small fish in the big pond. They still might be better than the big fish in the small pond. We don't know this. Sanford, yes, they beat Boston College, but barely. How are they going to fare against the University of Kentucky? We don't know that. And a big win this week would set them up in a great situation momentum-wise to take on teams like Oklahoma State, who they face next week, and of course Penn State in 2 weeks back home in Sanford. They've got big games upcoming, and they're going to need momentum. A lot of it. 2 big ranked opponents coming up in the next 2 weeks. And if they can't get the job done against Kentucky, I don't know if you can really ride in with a lot of hope into the Cowboy territory next week. But let's talk about some of these Kentucky Wildcats. Gunnar Hoke, the quarterback, a guy you're definitely going to have to keep your eyes on. He played some last season, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Didn't throw a ton of attempts. It was only 124 through the air. But he's a guy to keep in mind. He does have some mobility to him, so you're going to have to watch out for that as well. But the guy who I think the offense will run completely off the back of is Carl Jennings, the running back. Expect to see him get the ball as much as you're normally used to seeing Claude Fleming get the football. This is a running team, I think. I think we're going to see them run the football a lot against Sanford. So that defensive line is going to have to play well. They're going to have to make sure they come down and stop that running attack. A guy on the defense to watch is left end T.J. Carter. The pass rusher has 7.5 sacks last season, and he was able to deflect some passes at the line. So keep that in mind. He's a tough guy to watch, but they're big linemen. Very similar to Big Joe Irvin is Suleiman Kamara. I may have said that wrong, and I apologize. But Kamara is the guy to watch. 2.5 sacks last season. A pass deflection. But he is a run stuffer extraordinaire. Fleming's going to run straight at him. That's how he runs. But we'll see if he can get through that big body of Kamara. Another guy to watch out for is arguably the captain of the defense, Cash Daniel, the middle linebacker. Hell of a name for a good player, I can say that much. He had 2 interceptions last season, so Tanner Patrick is going to have to watch out on that middle of the field. Another linebacker to look at is Jalen Bannerman. He's a right outside linebacker. Didn't get a lot of play time last season, but here's a senior is getting the start. And I would expect to see Bannerman come in not only on blitzes, but have a chance to do some serious damage in the coverage game. Now let's talk about some Coyotes that I think are going to really have a chance to showcase this week, or at least be kind of the reason we win this. And first and foremost, I think it starts with Tanner Patrick. This Kentucky team does not have a good secondary. It's not an all-time great secondary, so I want to see Tanner Patrick have a good game. Claude Fleming, he's coming off of a big ball game. Offensive Player of the Week in the American Conference. Fleming really just needs to build off his momentum. He had a good day. Can he recreate that? That's the question this week. And I think you do something like that with Fleming, if he can recreate it, you'll be perfectly fine winning this ball game. Now, the receiver that I see coming out of nowhere is Lorenzo Newman. I don't know if this Kentucky team can really stop the big tight end. 6'5", 248, and he's got speed like a receiver at times. Newman is going to be a big target, and don't be surprised if he comes away as the top guy this weekend. Of course, when we talk defensively, Big Joe always a guy to talk about. And with Carl Jennings being the main guy to watch, I'd look at Joe Irvin to be the guy to really be able to stuff that run. If they're going to run up the gut, they're going to have to run into Joe, and Joe will stuff them. In the secondary, Dustin Jordan is always going to be the top guy to watch. He's going to be on every number one receiver this season. He's going to be expected to make big plays. And he's going to be expected, really, to do what he did last season. 6 interceptions. Now, a bounce-back player for me this week is Pat Riley. He didn't play great last week. He gave up some big plays, and he's got to play better. He wears that 39. That's the number his brother Mark wore down at FIU when he played. He's got to live up to his brother's name as a ball-hawking safety, in my opinion. And this week has to be that comeback week for him, I think. So that's all the time we've got for this week. Not this week's edition of the Howler, the last edition of the Howler here on the Sanford Sports Radio. We will see you folks next week on the Coyote Football Network for the first edition of Aired Television Howler here for the Sanford College Coyotes. Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and we are here at the University of Kentucky's Commonwealth Stadium as the Sanford College Coyotes take on some SEC competition in Week 2 of the college football season. Sanford's got a tough test in front of them. We talked about in the Howler. It's going to be a very interesting game, to say the least. Sanford's got to find a way to beat Kentucky. They're not a dominant team by any means. They're not the SEC's best team by any means. But this is a team that a lot of people, I think, expect Sanford to be the powerhouse in. I wouldn't go as far as to call Sanford the powerhouse by any means, but Sanford can definitely show their dominance. The Coyotes have a chance to upset the Wildcats big time. And I call it an upset because it's American Conference football against SEC. And you expect SEC to win 10 times out of 10. So this is going to be a very interesting game here for the Coyotes, rocking their all whites this week with their silver hats. We'll see if the Coyotes can make an impact here against SEC competition. They did it last year against Auburn. Can they do it again as we are underway? Jackson Stone kicks us off, and that one flies right out of the end zone. First and 10 here for Kentucky. The Wildcats in a 5-wide set as Hoke connects with Ben Givens, and that's going to be enough for a gain of 9. I thought he had a first down, but just about a yard short. As they call some no huddle here, and it looks like Givens now lining up in the backfield. 2nd and 1, Hoke takes the snap. He throws over the middle, connects with Gallagher. Watch out for Gallagher. He is the number 1 target here for Kentucky. The number 1 receiver on the depth chart, and I'd say the top guy for Hoke to look his way. As Givens takes the handoff. That's a wide receiver, folks. playing running back right now in this no huddle. He'll gain 11 on that run and a new set of downs. As 1st and 10 continues here with this no huddle, it's 3-yard run for Gibbons. You got to wonder when they're going to huddle up and get a running back in there. They continue to go no huddle here. 2nd and 7, Hoke looks to throw the sidelines, connects with Chase Gray, and this is an opportunity to go into no huddle. But they will not. They quickly get back to the line. 3rd and 4. As Hoke looks to throw, he'll take off. He's got a 1st down and plenty more as he fought through a Sanford defender. That's a big 1st down for Kentucky. They finally go back to the huddle, and now Carl Jennings is in. I said he was arguably the top guy to look at this week as that throw goes to Ronald Harris, a 15-yard reception on a slant there. 1st and 10 now out of the I form after the no huddle. Jennings takes his first carry of the day, and it's a gain of 3. Expect more carries like that from Jennings, especially running to the outside. 2nd and 7. Douglas, the man in motion. They'll go play action. And Hoke has time, but good coverage downfield. Still got time to the end zone. It is dropped by King. That could have been a touchdown for Kentucky, but luckily falls incomplete. 3rd and 7. Hoke looks to throw here. Pressure comes in, and down he goes. That's Nate Ginn on the sack. I'm surprised. I was expecting Scott Boyd to come into play, but Nate Ginn brought in, and he picks up the first sack of the day on Gunnar Hoke. As a field goal was lined up here, and a false start is called. That's going to move him back 5 yards. That's not a good situation for Kentucky one bit. Now you're looking at a much longer field goal here from about, I'd say, 37 yards out. The kick is up, and it is no good. Wide left. As we'll take you to an update here as the score remains 0-0 for Sanford and Kentucky. Michigan does come up victorious over Cincinnati. 31-28 over the Bearcats is the Blue Maze of Michigan. It's 35-32. Ole Miss over Georgia Tech in an upset. Auburn upsets LSU 31-21. And New Mexico takes out Tulsa 34-17. Those are your updates here as we'll get you right back to Sanford versus Kentucky. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford and Kentucky as Fleming has a 6-yard run here right up the gut to begin things. We're probably going to see a lot of that, I've got a feeling, this week. As he had a great game last week, touched on plenty over the Howler as well as in that ball game. And Fleming's got to really make that happen again. 2nd and 4 is Patrick rolling out. Looking to throw, but just throws it away as he found no one open. Believe he wanted Nick Brown, the number 2 tight end. 3rd and 4 here, shotgun formation. Patrick takes the snap, going deep downfield, it's Newman. I talked about in the Howler. Lorenzo Newman, a big target this week, and a 27-yard reception to get things underway for the big tight end. He is taken right over for Deron Costello in this offense and has not missed a beat. 1st and 10 out of the offset eye. Sanford goes to Fleming, but he is caught quickly. That is Cash Daniel on the tackle. And what a tackle it was, pulling down Fleming from the back of his jersey. As Sanford goes Wildcat here on 2nd and 11. Baker to throw. Puts it right there for Newman, but he can't get it, and it's picked up by Kramer. Interception for the Coyotes, and it comes off of Tyrese Baker. And really, it's not even his fault. He put that right there for Newman. That's just a sad situation. Newman can't haul it in, and it falls into the hands of Kramer. 1st and 10 now for Kentucky. Hoke on the run, and that's going to be a big 1st down, gain of 19 on the option as they continue the no-huddle offense. So both teams still tied at 0 as that throw just falls very lackadaisical down incomplete as he really just underthrew his target completely. Second and 10. Hoke looks to throw again. This time he connects with his target. It's Carl Jennings, and that'll be a 7-yard gain as he hit him in the flat to begin. Third and 3. Hoke looks to throw. They're setting up the screen. That's Jennings, and he has caught quick Dylan Trevor on the tackle and stopped him at the line. A big stop there as it's now back to Sanford offense. As Fleming on the first down, fighting for every yard, and that's going to be a tough gain, 5 yards. So a great gain there for Fleming, given how he had to fight there. Second and 5, Fleming right up the gut, and he'll fight once again, a gain of 7, as that will be a first down for the Coyotes. First and 10 in the pistol formation. They'll go option. Patrick on the run, and he takes a shot. My God, he was laid out. It'll be a gain of 3. Not much going there, but a huge hit on Tanner Patrick. You don't want to see that on the quarterback. As they bring in Joe Baker on second down, and he'll pick up 6 on that run right up the gut. First play of the game here for Baker. Probably see a little more Baker as time goes on. Patrick setting up a screen on third down, and Fleming has enough for the first, only a gain of 4. Someone didn't get their block there, as Fleming could have gotten a lot more if they had. First and 10, Patrick connects with Rob Thomas on the curl route. That's going to be a gain of 12 as this offense is flowing right now. First and 10. Under center is Tanner Patrick. They'll go play action as Patrick connects with Lorenzo Newman again. 17 yards on this connection as Newman once again. A big target for Patrick. That's catch number 2 for Newman today. Could be number 3 if he had gotten Baker's. As this will be the last play of the first quarter. Patrick falls to the turf. It's a loss of 7 on the sack as Cash Daniel, the middle linebacker, came right through. And we're all tied at 0 apiece to end the first quarter of play. Newman's been the big target so far today. We'll see if that continues. We'll be back with more here on the Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back, everyone, on the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West. It's 0 apiece here in Kentucky as a 9-yard gain here from Claude Fleming gets this second quarter underway. Third and 8 coming up now as Sanford into their pistol. Patrick to throw across the middle, connects with Patrick Jackson. That's an 18-yard reception and a big first down into the red zone. Go the Coyotes. As these are the plays you'll want to see Tanner Patrick connect on. These are the big plays that if he can make them, this team has a bright, bright future. First and 10, they go option here, and Patrick with a nice gain takes a big hit though again. It's going to be a gain of 8 off the power option, but he took a big shoulder for the second time today. Second and 2, full house formation, Patrick to throw. He rolls out a little quicker than I think he should have. I thought he had wide open Josh Williams, but third and 1 coming up after the gain of 1 by Patrick. Single back formation here is third and 1. Handoff goes to Fleming, and he is able to find enough room for the first. That was good run coverage there by Kentucky, and they nearly had him there for just a second behind the line. As first and goal from about the 5, Patrick on play action goes down, as that I believe indeed is Bannerman. It is a sack on the day of Tanner Patrick. I brought up Bannerman can hit you when he's blitzing, or he can play very nice coverage. So there's a big hit once again on Patrick. He's taking a lot of shots today. They hand the ball off here on second and goal from the full house. It was to Joe Baker, but he's not going to gain much. Only a gain of 1 as he tried to go left side. Third and goal, Patrick in the shotgun, looks to throw, connects with Josh Williams in the end zone. Touchdown Sanford as they are on top early. Well, I'm sorry, midway here now through the second quarter of play. As Sanford up 7-0 here in the second quarter. Handoff goes to Carl Jennings, and he's got room. He would not go down on first contact, as it is a 12-yard gain, enough for the first down for Jennings. I expect to see a lot of Jennings here now, especially with Sanford showing they can score on offense. Handoff goes to Jennings again here, and that is Matthew Fowler that brought him down. But Jennings fought for that gain of 3. He really powered his way upfield. 2nd and 7 as Jennings still in the backfield. Hoke looking to throw. The wide open is his tight end Rigg, and that is going to be a 20-yard gain into Coyote territory. Justin Rigg was left wide open there, and Hoke took full advantage. 1st and 10, man in motion. As Hoke hands off to Jennings, and he will spin his way down for a gain of 3. He was able to go forward still as he spun, and that's another gain for Kentucky. It's Gallagher, the man in motion on 2nd down. Hoke connects with Gallagher over the middle, and that is a 1st down and more as he made a couple moves there. Number 13 picking up 13. 1st and 10 once again for the Wildcats. Man in motion, I believe is Rigg there as Hoke throws. No, he takes off, and he somehow finds room up past the marker, and that is a big 1st down now inside the 10. 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line here, folks, at around the 8. As that is thrown off the upright, that's going to fall incomplete, and that will make it 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal here, shotgun formation. Hoke hands off to Jennings, though, and he's got blocks around that right side. Touchdown, Kentucky. And Sanford's now got another tie game up if they make the extra point. So a very interesting situation here with 2:44 left to go in the 2nd quarter as Fleming gets the handoff to start this Sanford drive. It's a gain of 3 yards being a very common gain here today for both sides. 2 minutes left to go here in the half as the pitch goes out to Joe Baker. He's got running room. Look at this, as that's going to be enough for the first gain of 10. Arguably the best run of the day for Baker, and arguably one of the best runs of the day for Sanford. As they go once again on the ground, this time to Tanner Patrick on the option. It's a gain of 6, and they're going to have another manageable 2nd down and 4 situation. All 3 timeouts for Sanford as a minute left on the clock here in the half. As downfield, Lorenzo Newman! And he takes them down to around the 25, maybe the 23-yard line. As another big 1st down for Lorenzo Newman. They hit the play action, and Newman just gets in front of the safety and able to make the catch. I brought it up once again in the howler. Newman would be the big target, and he has been. As just about 40 seconds left. Patrick going deep once again to Newman, but that one batted away. Cash Daniel on top of it this time around. 2nd and goal with 38 seconds left in the half. Patrick setting up a screen for Fleming. He's got a little bit of room, not much, and they will get up into the red zone. It's a gain of 5 for Sanford as they take their first time out. 3rd and 5, 31 seconds left. Patrick to throw, but he goes down. Big hit there, and that was Paris Kramer. He now has an interception and a sack on the day. Big day for Paris Kramer for Kentucky, as that is a huge play, as I believe Sanford's going to have to settle. Jackson Stone, though, is perfect, and Stone will help get the lead back for Sanford. We'll take you to an update here. UCLA over the Memphis Tigers, 45-28. As the Memphis Tigers off to a very poor start in their play, making it good for Sanford at least. As we are back here in Kentucky for the Sanford game, and Gallagher gets the return here as he almost broke it. 32 yards on the return. It looked like he had a chance to go all the way, but that is the end of the half, folks. 10-7, Sanford on top of Kentucky. We'll have more here for the second half here on the Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West. Sanford with the first possession of the new half, and a nice spin move there by Joe Baker. getting a 14-yard reception on that angle route. And a beautiful spin move there to even get more yardage. As it is 1st and 10, Sanford up 10-7 right now, as Fleming with a nice run up the gut, gain of 6. That's been about the average today for most of the runners. 2nd and 4, Fleming once again gets the handoff, and he's going to spin his way forward a bit. That's another gain of 6 and a first down for the Coyotes. Things going well here now to start this drive as Patrick off play action. Throwing deep downfield. That is Williams. What a play into the red zone. Josh Williams. This man is cleaned up off the field. He's like a new man this season especially. And what a play. Patrick just going deep. Wide open was Josh Williams. And he's able to cut upfield to gain maybe an extra 3 to 5. 1st and 10. Patrick and company in the red zone, and some good blocks. Here's Baker around that left side. Touchdown, Sanford. Joe Baker's first collegiate touchdown. Congratulations, kid. There's your first of hopefully many for you. As 17-7 now, Sanford on top of Kentucky as that pitch went nowhere. Carl Jennings brought down for a loss of 2 as James Bryant was on top of it. But once again, another congratulations to Joe Baker for his first collegiate touchdown here at Sanford in his first year of play. Great job for him as Hoke goes down on 2nd down. That is a sack, number 2 of the year for Shea Faraday. Faraday having a very nice beginning to his Sanford career as well, as that is his 2nd sack of the year already. 3rd and 17. Hoke setting up the screen, but it looks like the defense was ready as Moss slows him down and brought down by Deshaun Hollis. Carl Jennings only able to get 4 yards. 1st and 10 for Sanford in great field position as Fleming on the handoff can't find anything. He'll get back to the line, but that is at best. 2nd and 10 now, pistol formation as it's going to be a handoff. No, it's actually, an option here as it's a 6-yard run for Tanner Patrick, making it a manageable 3rd and 5 situation. They're going to have to convert this as they're in Kentucky territory. Patrick swings it out to Baker. Baker with a juke and couldn't fully get away from the defender, but he will get close to the first down. They'll call him short by inches. And look at this, Jean-Paul Valley on the throw, but incomplete. Off the hands of Charles Gutierrez. The new fullback here at Sanford, the freshman, just can't haul it in. And that's going to mean a turnover on down. Sanford tried the trickery and it just didn't work out. 1st and 5 here, or 1st and 10 here. Carl Jennings up the gut for Kentucky as he is averaging about 5 yards a carry. Hasn't seen the ball as much as I anticipated. So they go option here for Hoke, but Faraday all over that one. He'll drop him for a loss of 2 as nothing was going to fool Shea Faraday there. 3rd and 4 now in the shotgun is Hoke probably looking to throw. Indeed he is, as that's going to be a connection with King on the small curl. And that's going to be a big first down, gain of 20 for Johnny King. Sam Moore, the man who pushed him out of bounds after the gain. 1st and 10 as Hoke takes the snap, hands off to Jennings, and he's brought down. That's Big Joe on the tackle. He's not going to gain anything there as he got just back to the line. It's 2nd and 10 now as the no huddle continues. About 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd, and Hoke's going to give it to Jennings. Right up the gut, he goes on the draw, but it's only a gain of 5. So that leaves 3rd and 5 here. It's manageable for Kentucky. Can the Wildcats get something going? It's the question, but this Sanford defense has been stingy. Hoke to throw out of bounds, and that is going to force maybe to settle. They will bring out the field goal unit. They missed their last one as the kick is up. It is good. It's now a 7-point ball game here. Sanford up 17-10 as Kentucky has shortened the lead. First and 10 for Sanford now, though, as the handoff goes to Fleming. And that's going to be a gain of 6. Solid carry there, as he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Solid for Fleming. Second and 4. They'll go back to Fleming on the handoff out of the gun. This time it didn't work out, though. Cash Daniel has had a great day. 6 tackles, 3 for a loss, and he has just been dominant. Third and 5, as this could be the last play of the third quarter. Deep ball intended for Lorenzo Newman, intercepted by Godfrey, and that will be a big turnover, folks, as that goes into Coyote territory as well. As that's the first mistake Patrick has made today. He wanted Newman, but he just doesn't have the arm strength. First and 10, Hogue looks to throw, but he goes down. There's a sack. James Bryant comes right through unblocked, and what a hit on Hogue. That will take us to the end of the third quarter, folks. 17-10 your score. Kentucky, though, does have the football. They have a big opportunity in front of them. We'll be back with more here on the Sanford Sports Radio. There's only 1 quarter left. Throw up those 4s. Second and 16 here now is Sanford still in the lead. 17-10 here on the Sanford Sports Radio. And Jennings on the screen finds 7 yards. It's going to make it 3rd and 9. Still a 3rd and long situation for the Wildcats. This Sanford defense can make a big play, though. 3rd and 9. They're setting up the screen again, but it doesn't work out. Pat Riley with the sack. I said he had to step up, and that's one way to do it. They bring Riley in on the safety blitz, and he comes around the offensive lineman to come right at Hogue. Great play by Riley. As first and 10, Claude Fleming gets the handoff, and you've got to expect a lot of that here in this last quarter. Sanford going to probably run out a ton of clock as a gain of 8 on that run. 2nd and 2, pitch goes out to Fleming. He's got room, and he will get enough for the first, but just barely. A gain of 3 on that run. First and 10 in the offset eye. Gutierrez the man in motion. Baker in the ball game. So the handoff goes to Joe, and that's going to be a gain of 4 as they continue to keep this ball on the ground. Baker averaging 6.6 yards a carry. 2nd and 6. Handoff goes to Baker once again, and it is a 3-yard run. They're now down to 3rd and 3. You got to think Fleming's got to be the target here. 3rd and 3. They'll go option out of the pistol, and Patrick's got the first and more. It's a 12-yard gain as this team has just eclipsed the century mark on the day in their total rushing. First and 10. Patrick looking to throw now. As he won't throw it, he'll take off on the run, and he will slide after a first down. That is a big run for Patrick. Another big first down, and he stays in bounds to keep that clock moving. Right now, Kentucky's going to need a lot of help if they want to have a chance to come back. First and 10. Patrick pitches it to Baker. He's got a touchdown on a toss already, as that is a 5-yard run. Baker's done a good job so far today. 7 rushes for 41 yards. 2nd and 5 is Fleming back in the ballgame, and they'll go to the screen. Fleming's got some blocks in front of him, and that's a first down and more. He even avoided one would-be tackle. That's an 11-yard gain. First and 10, and the shotgun is Patrick. If they find the end zone, this game is over. And that's Jackson, but he drops the surefire touchdown. That may have been the dagger, but dropped by Patrick Jackson. Handoff now here on 2nd down goes to Fleming, and he can't find much. It's a gain of 2, brought down by Daniel. 3rd and 8 in the full house formation. They're going to that slant pattern. Patrick somehow connects with Josh Williams. He was extremely well covered. I don't know how that connected, but it's a first and goal now as Kentucky took their first time out. And look at this, up and over goes Patrick. Touchdown Sanford as Tanner Patrick collects his rushing touchdown for today. We'll take you to an update as Wake Forest defeats UTEP 31-28 in a very close ball game. As Fry with the big game, 23 carries, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We're back here in Kentucky. Sanford on top of things, 24-10. Hoke to throw. They're looking to make the comeback here with just about 2 minutes left. That's Dakota Holtzclaw with a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 as Hoke can't connect with Holtzclaw this time. That one is dropped as it's 3rd and 6 coming up. Just past the 2-minute mark. Hoke looks to throw over the middle, connects with Harris, and he's downfield. 30, 25, 20, finally brought down. I believe that's Mario White, or no, I'm sorry, Dustin Jordan who made the tackle. Hoke going deep downfield, but that one through the crossbars. That is no completion, nor is it a field goal. 2nd and 10, shotgun formation here for Kentucky. Hoke looks to throw, they're setting up a screen. Jennings with room, and he'll just head out of bounds for a gain of 7. As 3rd and 3 coming up now here for Kentucky. Sanford, defense is ready. Hoke to throw. He connects with Gallagher, a first down and around the 4. 9-yard gain. It's 1st and goal. Hoke hands off to Jennings after that no huddle, and Jennings goes down to around the 2. It's going to be 2nd and goal here now, folks. No huddle continues. Hoke hands off to Jennings, and he'll fight, but he won't get in. They are at, I'd say, the goal line at this point. 3rd and goal. Gray the man in motion. Handoff goes to Jennings. He's still bottled up. Pat Riley brings him down. Riley really making up for his really lackluster performance last week. 4th and goal with a minute left. Handoff goes to Long, and Long bounces his way in. It's a 1-yard touchdown run for Kentucky. The Wildcats, though, need an onside kick. They have 1 timeout in 57 seconds. Sanford set up for the onside recovery, and Sam Moore has it. He'll fall to the turf with it in hand, and that is the ball game, folks. Sanford once again is victorious. This time it was no comeback, though. It was a tight one, 24-17. Your Coyotes defeat the Kentucky Wildcats. It was a tough outing. One mistake from Tanner Patrick really gave some life to Kentucky. Luckily, they were able to shut it down with that touchdown. However, Tanner Patrick has to watch the turnovers. It's been a thing we've talked about constantly in his career, but he has gotten better. We've seen him make those strides, and even this week, if that hadn't been for him wanting to go to Lorenzo Newman, who had been the big target, I don't think that turnover happens. Either way, Sanford is victorious, 24-17. Your player of the game is Tanner Patrick for his 2 touchdowns. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Next week, we will be on the Coyote Football Network, and you can see it all on your big screen TVs. So we will see you folks then. I've been Jonathan West. We will see you next week.